So hiya everyone, hope everybody's okay. It's been a while since I last did a video, end of May, and it's now the middle of July. I had hoped to go away a bit more than I have been lately, but after the North Coast 500 videos, the weekend after that was my birthday. The weekend after that we did a barbecue, family barbecue, and a few friends. Then it was my dad's birthday the weekend after that. Where else was there? Yeah, we had a couple of things on one weekend where I was out and about. I have been busy, just not had a chance to record anything, that's all. But going out now, I'm just going over to the petrol station to stick some air in these back tyres because they're looking a little bit low. The weather's not the best either today. Right, I'm just watching where I'm going at the moment. I'm at a T-junction up near us, and there's normally nothing here. You can get straight out, yet everything is just going by at the moment. What time is it? 13:15 on Saturday the 22nd of July. But yeah, I'll head over up to this garage, stick some air in the tyres, and we'll be on his way. I actually wanted to go away earlier, but I was watching the Forest match this morning. Just played Levante in pre-season. We won 2-1. And like I said, the weather is not the best, so I was hoping it was going to clear up, but it looks like it's in for the day, this rain. We've had no but rain as well for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. But finally got my bits and bobs together. We'll go and check out some areas in the Peak District. I was thinking of going and checking out some of these Park4Night places, see what they're like overnight. I've got a bag with me if I do decide to stay. Just take it from here. I've got food. I've always got food in the van, so should be alright. We'll have a little ride across Peak District. I can be in the Peak District in 30 minutes from where I live. So it's a little run out, check out the area. But I was hoping to do a bit of walking, but I'm not setting off in this constant drizzle, so we'll go and check out some of these Park4Night places, see if they're any good. Might be a bit quieter in the Peak District today, mainly because of the rain. So I'm just heading towards Matlock now, start cutting across the Peak District that way. Matlock's only 20 minutes from where I've just left you, so we'll catch up with you further up the road. You'll not be bouncing about as much. The 22nd of July and we've got weather like this. I don't know if you watched them, but one of those North Coast 500 videos I did, I mentioned about the weather up in Scotland, and May and September are the better months. Now they've had it wet up there throughout June and most of July. I don't think they've had it as bad as down here, but they've still had a decent amount of rain. But it just shows you the better time of year is, like, weather-wise at the minute, I think, is May and September. I mean, it's just about the start of the school holidays down here in England, so hopefully it'll pick up as we're getting towards the end of July and into August. I'm just going to pull in here just to show you, this is one of the spaces that's marked down on Park4Night. Now, I've never stayed here. I've pulled in plenty of times before. We've got this food van, but it's one of the spots that you can stop at. In fact, there's a motorhome here now. I'll quickly just pull in and quickly show you, although you can pretty much see it now already anyway. It's just on the A6 between Belper and Matlock. It does get quite a few lorries park up here, but it's a pretty alright spot. It is next to the main road, but you have got that part in between it. Like I said, there's a camper van here already. I don't know whether he's staying overnight. It's not a bad little spot. I can think of a lot better ones, but I suppose if you wake up in the morning, you want your breakfast, that food van's down there, so it's not too bad. Right, we'll be moving along now. So yeah, that one's just next to the A6, heading towards what's Stanwell and Cromford, so I'll pick up with you a bit further on. Mind you, I'm on about the weather, typically British of course, but this time last year we'd got it 38, 39 degrees, whereas I think at the moment it's about 17, 18. Just coming into Cromford now, I'm turning left at these lights. Yeah, the weather, it is what it is. You just got to get out and about still, ain't you? So, just make the most of it. Life's short as it is, without moping about, waiting for sunnier days. Get out and do your thing. So yeah, this is Cromford. Very wet Cromford. I'm just going to be turning right.
Turn right.
Via Jellier. I'm not going to pull in and stop at it this time, but in a minute on your right, oh sorry, when I've turned right in a minute, there's a spot on the left. There's a spot on the left. That's
at the next junction, keep left.
In fact, it's here. This bit of a lay-by thing here is marked down on Park4Night. I'll point an arrow at it. I'm just going to check this out because I've not actually seen if this is on Park4Night, but I'm pretty sure you'd be alright in here overnight. There's no gate, and again it's near a calf, but it does say customer parking only. But if you was going to be a customer the next day, I'm sure it'd be okay. I mean, don't quote me on that. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 signs up that says customer parking only. I'm not going out in this to show you. You can see, but yeah, it's big enough area. If I can find out any other information about it, again, I'll flash it up on the screen. You see, not all of these places I'm probably going to pull in at will be on Park4Night. Some of them are just, you know, random places that's not marked down. Not every spot that you can stop over is on that app. So if I do see any that I think look alright for a night, I'll pull in and show you. If it is on Park4Night, it is. If it ain't, then it's not. But you've just got to see what you think for yourself as well when you get to these spots. I was reading on the government website about overnight parking laws in this country. You can sleep in the vehicle as long as you don't stray no more than 15 feet, or it might be meters. I think it's 15 feet from the roadside. So, but obviously certain authorities, council, local authority, will have restrictions in place as well, like a bylaw, I think it is. But when it's on the highway, you can park within that 15 feet of the roadside. This is how obviously they get away with it for lorry drivers being allowed to sleep on roadsides in the vehicles at lay-bys. But obviously We don't want to be just at roadsides. We want to be nicely parked up near a loch or a lake, near a mountain, high up, out of the way. I mean, here, this isn't going to be one, but somebody would pull in there for a night. I don't like to be too close to the road though. The noise, not so much the noise actually, because this van's insulated and I don't hear anything. But it's more the safety side of things. Yeah, you know, you're going to get wagons go by and rock your van, but if you've got someone that had an accident there, you're a sitting duck. So I always like to be just that little bit further away. That first one down on the A6 where the food van was, that would be okay, I think. Just seen a sign, it says caravan and campsite. That's it, Middle Hills Farm. One up there on your left. Can't really see it. But I think it's reasonably priced as well. A lot of them in the Peak District, they're alright prices, you know. They're not like proper rob dogs like you get elsewhere. They'll let you stop for 10, 12, sort of maybe 15 quid at the most, and that'll be like per unit, not per person. I know we had that one at Edale that time when I was up there. I was on about it on one of the other videos, the 24 hours in the Peak District video with a French Bulldog. But yeah, there's a lot of these little farms, they'll let you stop. I think some of them are even like £6-7. So yeah, I think sort of ballpark figure for a lot of them in the Peak District's 10 or 12 quid, which ain't bad these days. And like I said, a lot of them are per unit, not per person. Looks like there's some show on over here. Can't properly tell. One sec. Camper vans and caravans, priority parking. Oh, Why Not Festival. That's where it is. I don't know where that's on. Looks like they've all got the setup on over there though, at the moment. Whether that's on next weekend. So I'm just south of Buxton at the moment, southwest of it. As you can see, visibility is still pretty poor. To my right, it looked like it was trying to brighten up a little bit. I think the only place in England at the moment that hasn't got rain, believe it or not, is around Manchester and Liverpool, that northwest section. I think everywhere else in England, probably even the UK actually, including Wales and Scotland, I think it's absolutely lashing it down. As you can see now, I've got my wipers on and they've been on all the time I've been driving. I've only been driving about 45 minutes. I'll tell you what though, I'd sooner be up here while it's absolutely hammering it down with rain in this countryside, driving through it, and sat about at home twiddling my thumbs all afternoon. I thought, sod it, get out and about, you've got the afternoon free. If you stay overnight you do, if you don't, you don't. From the furthest point I'll be today, I'll probably only be about an hour and 15 minutes from home, so if I decide to go back I do. If I don't, then we have a night away in the van and I'll just go back tomorrow. Like I said, beats twiddling your thumbs in the arse. Quite high up now, we're on that Cat and Fiddle road. Visibility is really short. Probably what, 150, 200 metres, just coming into Cheshire. Still part of the Peak District. I think it's 6 counties make up the Peak District. It's heavily Derbyshire, but parts of Staffordshire, Cheshire, Greater Manchester, West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire, they also do as well, but it's predominantly Derbyshire. But we're just in Cheshire now, just come into it. So here's the Cat and Fiddle now. I'm just going to pull up. I came here 10 years ago. In fact, I've been here a few times. In the distance over there is the highest point in Cheshire, Shining Tor. But I'm just going to get out the van a moment and let's see what it's like outside here. So I'm here up at the Cat and Fiddle. It is actually a pub by the looks of it. As you can see, visibility is terrible. You wouldn't think it's the 22nd of July, would you? More like 22nd of January. Well, we'll go across the road and have a look around from the outside. I don't think I'm going in. I can't tell if it is actually open, but we'll get across to it. I'm trying the art on my new selfie stick. I've got the shorter one as well. I'm just hoping it's not too far away for you to hear me talking. But it's proper lashing it down again. This is just round the back of it. I'm not sure if you can stay in here overnight. They've got a couple of signs up. It does say for patrons. But there is another part of the car park through here, which I'll spin you around and take you to it. If anybody wants to pause it and read that, there is a sign. You've got to leave your registration and be a patron at the pub. Yeah, late July and this is what it's like, but hey-oh, where I'm parked across the road, there is a camper van. It does say on Park4Night that some of them do stay in that lay-by on that bend. I don't know whether I'd fancy it though. Again, it's a real busy road. I think it's the most dangerous road in this area. In fact, it definitely is. I'm sure there's numerous accidents on Cat and Fiddle Road. Right. Just walking around now to show you the other side of the pub. I'm getting absolutely drowned here. So over that way, to your right, that's where it takes you out to Shining Tor. So yeah, there we have it, Cat and Fiddle. That's the lay-by. I think that motorhome's staying there for the night, got the blinds up. It's a shame it's like this because there's some great views over that way when it is a clear day. Yeah, I've just noticed what that sign says below the Cat and the Fiddle. Forest Distillery. I've come back into the van now to get dry. But yeah, I'll flash up a few photos of when I walked over there about 10 years ago. There'll be a few photos on it. I'll put up on the screen in a moment. So I think it is the second highest pub in England. Obviously Tanhill Inn is the highest, which is on one of my other videos that you might have seen. But yeah, I'm sure this is the second one. I'll confirm again on the screen if it is, or if it isn't. So, right, we'll be pushing on again then now, to try and find somewhere else to have a look at, where visibility is slightly better than that. So yeah, that's the Cat and Fiddle lay-by. And that blue van is definitely staying there. Well, we'll get moving on down the road again. I've pulled in here just to show you. I found a bit of a spot if anybody would fancy it. Now, just up there and right is back to the Cat and Fiddle. Cat and Fiddle is about 400 yards up that hill on the right. And this is a spot I've found. You'd be alright here for a night. This bit of a lay-by. I've just pulled in here now just to show you. I mean, the weather is absolutely foul. You'll probably hear me say it another 20 times on the video how bad it is, the weather, but it really is. Yeah, you'd be alright there, and I've got full phone signal. You'd probably need levelling chocks, but there's a pub there, I think it says Peak View, and then about another 400 yards after that is back to the Cat and Fiddle. Well, that one there is Peak View, you can just see it in the mist. We're just now driving along the edge of Macclesfield Forest. Well, it says half a mile to Macclesfield Forest. I'm heading towards village called Boar Clough, which is near a mountain called Shutlings Low, which is also known as the Matterhorn of Cheshire. I've seen a lot of camper vans and cyclists about though. They seem undeterred by the rain. Yeah, I've just pulled up here. Macclesfield Forest, sorry, 1.5 miles, and we've got 2 miles down towards Wild Boar Clough. And Winkle, 5 miles away. I think it's pronounced Winkle. It's either Winkle or Winsel, or it might be something else. I thought if it were Winkle, it might be with a K, or it's a C, W-I-N-C-L-E. But it's one of them again, isn't it? Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. And if you did know, leave us a comment below, please. Right, we've already seen it, but again, I think it's a no-show. Should I say a no-go? It's a shame really as well, because this place would be ideal for an overnighter. Vicarage Quarry. No camping, no overnight parking. Shame really, but maybe one of them places that people have left a mess again, spoiling it for us all. Yeah, it's a real shame about that, because that looked a nice little spot to park up. I'd still got signal as well. I'm still undecided whether I'm staying out overnight or not, but we can have a ride about, and if I fancy it later I will. If I think, sod it, get myself back, it's only 1 hour and 15 minutes from here, so it's win-win either way. The only thing that's slightly putting me off is, if it was dry, I'd be able to get out and about for a walk. Otherwise, I'll get parked up later. I'm just going to be sat about. But we'll see how I feel in a bit. Let's have a look what this one's like now. That's Clough House car park. I think you can stay in this one. I think Park4Night says it's one of only a few in the area of car parks like this where they're all right about you staying. Well, as you can see, I've just been up there and turned it round. At that end of the car park, it says no overnight. There's no signs at this end of it, so it's up to you whether you'd fancy it. If you come in from there, where we've just come in from, there, you could say you'd not seen any signs. Now, I don't know whether you'd want to do that or not. If I'd have not gone up where I've just turned round, I wouldn't have seen the sign. There's none in here. There's none in this car park. So it looks alright, to be fair. This is where you can park as well if you're doing that Shutlings Low hike. I'll flash a few photos up of that. I had a really nice walk up there with my old dog quite a few years ago now. A real nice blue skies, sunny day. But we'll get moving on again, see what else we can find. Well, actually, I'm going to pull up here. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Getting a bit dry actually, yeah. Get a brew on the go, and I'll decide where we're moving on to next. It's a bit like North Coast 500, isn't it? Pulling up where you fancy having a cuppa. Get the kettle on the go. Right, so I've just finished my cup of tea. I think it's time now to start moving on. We're going to head through the village of Wild Boar Clough. It's still absolutely tonking it down. I don't think it's rained as much as this all day for a while. We've had it raining a lot lately, as I've mentioned, but it's been on and off. 1 minute you've had blue skies, next you've had a storm. This today has just been constant drizzle, but undeterred, we'll get moving on down the road. I thought I'd had short haircut, but he has as well. Took it right down to skin on lad, haven't they? Look at him, nibbling away on his grass. You see, I don't want you just having to look out the window all the time while I'm driving. I try and do a bit of everything, like aiming the camera pointed on me when we're out and about doing this and that, various sort of things, you know what I mean? But when it's like this, I'm not going out and about walking in this. I've done loads of walking before when it's been raining, but it's different when you've already set off and then you get caught out in it and you're 3 or 4 mile walking back to where you're stopping or the car. That's different. I'm not going out and walking about in it the second that you leave the van to the moment you get back. You're soaked to the bone, more or less. Yeah, I've got that waterproof coat, but you still get soaked down your neck and your feet and everywhere, you know, although my boots are actually good as well. But I'll be honest with you, I'm sounding like a bit of a fair weather walker and I can't be bothered with walking about in the rain. As I said, it's different if I've already set off. This looks an alright little spot. I'll spin you around in a second. Just outside Wild Boar Clough. Right, I'm going to spin you around. It's always easier for me to show you. So yeah, we're just near a bridge. Wild Boar Clough's up that way. But what I meant by an alright little spot is you'd be alright under there for a night. That bit of a lay-by where I've parked up. There's some info on this sign here. Wild Boar Clough flood disaster, 24th of May 1989, completed 1989-90. JT Humphreys, Esquire, CC, Chairman of the Council. I think the water was up to the top of that wall. I'll have a little read about it later, see what it says. Tell you what though, it's road some if it's come up to the height of that, hasn't it? Jesus. But yeah, that's an alright spot there, I reckon. There's no signs up about it, or about you can't stay, so I think that one would be okay. Just on the edge of Wild Boar Clough, next to the river. Right, I'm going to check out what's up here. It's over this bridge. I've never been here before. I've been to that Clough car park where I had the cup of tea. But I've not been in this village, I don't think. Well, I'm on the A54 now. And I've just gone past a campsite. Well, it's a farm where it allows camping, and it's £10 per night per unit. Berrybank Farm. I was going to go and stay there, but because I'm not going out and about doing any walking, we'll just carry on scoping the area. Looks an alright little country pub, the Rose and Crown. This is just about a mile and a half down from that Berrybank Farm campsite. So yeah, we're just winding down, coming down the hills, through the dales. It's pretty bumpy. Oh my god, do my eyes deceive me? The sun's trying to come out in the distance. Just coming up to a village called Sutton, which is near Wild Boar Clough and that Winkle or Winsell. So this is another one that you can stop at. Well, there's no restrictions. There's no signs showing you can't stop. In fact, they've actually got big P signs up saying you can park, and there's no overnight parking signs. It's called Bottoms Reservoir. We're a mile from Macclesfield Forest, which we'll be heading to down that way after we've just had a little walk along here. The rain's finally stopped, about time. So yeah, there's another pub. That's the way we've come down to then park there. There's a pub round the corner. There's loads of these country pubs up here. Most of them have got camper vans, motorhomes, etc. all parked up because I think nobody's been doing much walking today with this rain. Yeah, I'll just take you along here, just show you this reservoir. Yeah, quite a nice area. A lot of low-lying clouds still though. I'm just being quiet for a second so you can hear how quiet it is. There's a village down there called Langley. I forgot what the name of this road's called. And then we're going to be heading on down that way towards Macclesfield Forest. But I just wanted to show you that this is a place that seems okay for parking overnight. Obviously you got a bit of road noise, but I'd imagine that'd die down the closer you get to the evening, and during the night I think it'd be alright here. So yeah, that's the parking spot anyway. And behind you, you just have a few sheep in the field. So right, we'll move on in towards Macclesfield Forest. We'll see what's about over there. Looking a bit gloomy, but undeterred, we'll push on. Right, well I'm not pulling in for long, but I thought I'd just pull in just to show you. I'm on the edge of Macclesfield Forest now, and there's all these laybys as well around here that seem pretty cool to stay over. They've just got these signs here, and there's several laybys. There's some down there as well, and then in the distance down there. So we'll get moving on. It's next to this bit of a reservoir. Forgot what the name of it is. I'll flash it up on the screen. Yeah, it seems all right around this Macclesfield Forest. I got the impression it seems reasonably camper van friendly. So yeah, we'll move down there anyway. I've never been to this Macclesfield Forest before, so I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, it does seem camper van friendly. Seen one or two parked up. I think there's a caravan just down here. Let's just see. I think I'd come up here in winter. I think I'd have a bit more feel for it in winter about staying over, but look, there's all this laybys here. This camper van's parked up by the looks of it. Goes all into there on your left into Macclesfield Forest. Oh, there's even a caravan here. We've got full setup on the go. Legs dropped. Water butt out. Now I'm just going to pull up here just to show you back across this reservoir because it looks quite big. There. So yeah, I think round here seems okay. I think I'll have a night up here later on in the year, be it winter or autumn. that's some more laybys. You get the gist of it though now. Macclesfield Forest seems sound for overnighting. Let's hope it stays that way. People take the litter home with them. Looks like a good spot. Trentabank car park. So I've come out the other end of Macclesfield Forest now. Just pulled up because I've got a couple of options of which way I'm going to go. One of them looks a bit sketchy, to be honest with you. So yeah, Macclesfield Forest, and we've just come from down that way. I'm just going to spin you around again. So we've got the option of going down there, Clough Road, that way. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what it's called. But yeah, that's the way we'll be heading, winding down that way. As you can see the road just, where is it? There. I think it's quite tight, so we'll see how we get on. But yeah, the cloud real low, but we'll get moving back across towards Buxton area. Yeah, it seems all right around here. I shall return for definite. Oh, what's this say? Just one sec. Walter Smith, 1872-1949, historian of Macclesfield and lover of the countryside. We climb the hills together. I think that's how it says it. On the recording, I don't think you'd just realise how steep it was. I've just come down then, but I've had my foot on the brake all the way down. See, these Peak District roads as well, they can be a bit iffy because you've got no passing places, so if anything had come towards me then, you really are struggling. Just bear with me a sec. I'm heading down some right sketchy back lanes now. Come away from Buxton area. Now heading across towards like Castleton. Just going to check out what's around there. That clonking that you keep hearing, it's a massive bottle opener that was one of my Father's Day presents. I've put it on my key ring. That was one of them weekends that I said at the start of the video I couldn't remember what we'd been on with, but there'd always been something since I'd been back from my last trip. As I mentioned, like my birthday, then that barbecue the weekend after my birthday, then I think it was Father's Day, then my dad's birthday, then we did some at the beginning of July, then it was Mrs. and daughter's birthday last weekend. So I've literally been on with summer every weekend, but been unable to get away and record anything. So hopefully you've liked what you've seen on this video so far, and if you do, could you hit the like button and subscribe? That'd be much appreciated. But also I wanted to mention about the subscribing on YouTube. Now YouTube should call it follow or like, because I've been speaking with people and they thought subscribing you had to pay. No, it's free to subscribe. Just sign up for a free YouTube account with your email and a password and then you can subscribe. But it is a bit confusing, I think, for some people. They might think, well, I'm not subscribing because I'm not paying to watch his videos. Well, it's nothing like that, you know. Just, if you don't mind, create an account and hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Right, so we've ended up coming down Winnett's Pass, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to, because I've got somewhere else in mind. Now I might still be able to try and get over to it, Look at this one, struggling, got a limp. I think another one's bites the dust on when it's passed. Pass. Jag, 66 plate Jag. So yeah, we'll get down here and I'll show you where we're off to next when I pull up there. Well, this is not actually where I was going to show you, but seeing as the video is going to be about stopovers in the Peak District, this is like the daddy of them all. Old Mamtor Road near Castleton. You can easily get about 80 to 100 vans, motorhomes, cars, wherever along this road on a weekend. I mean, look, there's loads now already, and the weather's not been the best. But yeah, this is an obvious one that you can stay at. Folk have been staying here for years along there, so I thought while I'd come down when it's past, show you along here. It goes right all the way up to the end. It goes right down there on the left, but I'm spinning round. I've got somewhere else in mind that I may stay at, but nothing's ever set with me. You should know that by now. But it's going on a bit now, 7 o'clock, so we'll head over to this other spot I have got in mind, and I'll make a decision whether I'm staying at or if I'm heading back. I'm not sure what to do. Right, well, I'm heading up the road that I didn't want to go up. I didn't mind coming down it, but I wasn't keen about coming up it. So we'll see how it goes. But it is very, very steep. But it's following somebody else up it, so hopefully if there's anything coming now, they'll have the decency to wait. Should always give way to traffic going uphill anyway, where possible. You probably won't be able to tell on the video, but that was mega steep. I have quickly just pulled in just to show you. That's down into Castleton, down there. And we've come up from there, but yeah, mega steep that was. There's Mamtor covered in cloud. Lewes Hill. Right, so I thought I'd best show you, this is where I've ended up and this is where I'm going to stay tonight. It's near Castleton and Hope, Pindale Road. I think that's what it's called. I'll flash it up. I'm not staying out in this too long because it's absolutely drizzling like mad again. It had stopped briefly, but yeah, seems alright spot. There's somebody else further down the road with a roof tent on top of their car. But I'll just take you up here just to show you where it is. It's near a quarry. The views was pretty decent when I first pulled up, but there was a couple other cars. So I waited for them to move and I got on that flatter ground. But I'll just spin you around again. So yeah, there's the quarry down there. Take you over to it in a sec. I'm parked up there, and then Castleton and Hope is over that way. It's down there into the quarry. Obviously that's all private. So right, I'm going to head back over to the van, make myself some food, and obviously a cup of tea. So yeah, it should be alright here tonight. not expecting nobody to be driving up really. Not on a night like this. There's a little bit of litter about. I'm going to get it up. I've got a bin bag with me, so we don't want another place having signs going up saying no overnighting. You hear it teaming it down. Well, I have just had a cup of tea, but now it's the important part. Decisions. Right. Tonight's choices are spicy sausage pasta, chicken tikka and rice. And then for pudding, got chocolate pudding or sticky toffee pudding. So I'm just going to be whacking them in that soon. It's just coming up to boil now. It's absolutely hammering it down outside. So I'll be having that, and I'll catch up with you once I've eaten. Well, I'll show it you to start with, because I know how some of you vanners like to see what other people are eating. It don't overly bother me, to be honest with you, but it helps make the videos help. It's really hammering it on the van now. You might not hear it because of that boiling. But right, I'll get my food in there. I am staying here tonight, have a night away. Tonight's feed. We're bubbling hot, hot, hot. We're bubbling hot, bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. We're bubbling hot, hot, hot. We're bubbling hot. Right, now to empty the entire contents into my bowl. You can actually eat them straight out of the bag, but I'll get it in the bowl, I think. Right, now that's what you call El Scorchio. There's steam coming off it. Could have done with a naan bread, to be honest with you, but it'll be alright. I've got my sticky toffee pudding, got a couple of other snacks as well. Right, so I've had my food and I've had my pudding now. I've had another cup of tea as well since you last seen me. Yeah, we've checked out a few spots today for overnighting in the vans. I'm going to call it a night soon for recording anyway. I'm going to watch a film. Got a couple downloaded on the device, so I'll watch them. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get my drone up because it's just constantly raining still, and tomorrow morning it's still saying the same, so just pop my head out. Tell you what though, it might not be a bad thing, because I reckon there's a lot of flies and bugs knocking about in all this flowers and undergrowth and wherever you. I reckon on a summer's night when it's clear skies, I bet there's millions of insects. I won't mind coming and checking out Beardo in winter. Be quite good when it's snowing heavy. Oh, morning, Sunday morning. A bit of a lane, but not much. The rain finally stopped at about 6 AM this morning. Oh. Right, I'm just about to get up and make a cup of tea, so I'll catch up with you soon. Oh, 5 more minutes. Still looking grey and mysterious over there. You probably can't see much. Still hear the rain as well. Right, I'll make a cup of tea and get all my bits and bobs together. Right, so I've just been chilling out a little bit with the radio on. In fact, let me turn it off a sec. Yeah, I'm going to have one more cup of tea. The reason I've carried it on the next morning is because on the way back from here, I've got at least one more spot I want to show you. So I'll have a drink and then tidy up in the back of this van. There's a few bits and bobs about, and then we'll start heading down the road. Right, so I've come outside now, it's about 9 o'clock. It's finally stopped raining. I thought I'd come out and show you a little bit of this area where I stayed last night. Like I said, it's pretty good for an overnighter. There was a car down there with a roof tent on, and I think another camper van turned up. But it's now gone, has it? There was a red one there earlier. We've obviously got on the way. I'll just spin you around and show you down into the valley now. The cloud's lifting. So that's obviously where I stayed. Clouds beginning to lift. So you can actually see the mountain across the way. There is the top of some quarry works, some chimney they've got. And this is further down the lane. There's that other cart there, just underneath the trees with a roof tent on. And we've got sheep for company. One of them's just clocked me. Some wind and rain coming back in again then there. Right, I'm going to retreat to the van and we'll move on. Hey, check out these dudes. These are them in that roof tent. Stayed here last night. So just so you know where the turn-off is, that's where I came up yesterday when it was real steep. From that way, you can just make out the sign on the brow of the hill. There's a rain rushing down the road. But anyway, yeah, so you turn off there for it, and we was down there at the end as you're seeing up there. So yeah, pretty decent spot. Let's keep it clean, and then they'll have no reason to put up no overnight parking signs. So we've come along there, that road. I've just stopped because it's that quiet and easy to pull up. I'm carrying on down there to get back to the 623. But I'm going just to have a quick look down there because I think it might be a decent spot. It is near the quarry. I think you'd be okay at weekend providing you weren't causing a nuisance, but we'll go and check it out. The weather's turning foul again. 23rd of July. Oh well. So straight on down there carries on to Bradwell. Restricted width ahead, no large vehicle access to Bradwell. Oh, well that puts paid to that anyway. There's a gate at the quarry, so right, we'll spin round anyway. So I'm in Eyam now, the village of Eyam, just north of it. It's starting to rain, so I put the cap on. Stop going. Spots of water all over my glasses again. You can't overnight in here. This sign's just as you come in. They've got cameras there. So I've got one more place to show you, and we'll probably be calling it a wrap at that. It's a shame really, because this would be an ideal spot. It's meant to be a really nice village. Well, it looked it on the way through actually. It looked real nice. So yeah, we'll move on anyway. So this is the last one that I'm going to be showing on this video. It's actually been put on by a local. Sir William Hill Road and High Cliff Junction. It's about 2.5 miles northwest of Eyam, where you last seen me. It's got decent reviews on Park4Night, but I've just thought I'd just have a little walk around it just to get you having a feel of the place. There's a couple just walked off up there doing a hill walk. But yeah, it's a real nice area. I can actually see some sun trying to come out today, but I'll just spin you around again. Now it says byway open to all traffic, but I don't think I'd be taking my van up that. Don't look too bad, but I think the further you go up it would be. So yeah, this is the lay-by, just there. There's photos on Park4Night of it. I'll flash up the postcode for it as well. I think you can get 5 or 6 in there if you was parked lengthways. But I've just boshed it in there for a sec, just to show you for a minute or two. So yeah, as I said, in the distance, looks like the sun's trying to come out today. Right, so we will call it a wrap now on this video. We covered some alright places, I reckon. Some were on Park4Night, some weren't. I mean, that one I stayed at last night, that wasn't on Park4Night. So, you know, you can find your own places as well. I think the general rule is, don't set up chairs, don't set up gazebos, just basically the footprint of your vehicle, and it goes without saying, take all litter away with you. Yeah, like normal, if you don't mind, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and definitely subscribe if you can. If you haven't got an account, it takes a few minutes to create one on YouTube. They're totally free, and yeah, it'd be really appreciated if you could subscribe. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll try and get out again soon and do another one. Cheers.